Okay, this is a boring one, but it looks like it has potential. Let's see if we can make this turn up a treat. But it's actually some picture of something you eat. Pardon the pun and the rhyme. Whatever. Fuck. Just trying to decide here, folks. Alright, let's see what we have. We have here Coles, back to school. You hate school. School sucks, folks. School really is a shit. Who likes it? I don't. A lot of people do like it, funnily enough. There are some things. I got bullied and teased all of my school life, so I have no really good. I have got good memories, but a lot of them have been marred by that. The teasing and the bullying shit I fucking had to deal with. So it was really hard enjoying class or enjoying anything because of them. They made it a real pain in the ass being at school, and I didn't enjoy the schoolwork because I had trouble learning because I had brain damage at birth. I had a cord around my neck and I came out feet first, and that fucked up my functioning. So I couldn't enjoy school that much. My favourite year at school would have been 1986, when I discovered the photocopier as a creative tool. That was the highlight of my school, and going in the school magazine with that photocopy of my face. That was a real treasure of a time. That was. That looks shit house. I don't like that. So yeah, I just didn't enjoy the rest of school. School just sucked. It just sucked left, right and centre. I just couldn't enjoy it. There was just no reason to. I used to get in trouble for not doing my schoolwork, for not doing it. Yeah, it was really, really difficult time to live in this school period. But I tried to deal with it as best as I could, however horrible it was. I think I did this wrong, folks. Yeah, I did. Fucked it. I was trying to enlarge this section here, but I just got the rest of the shit. But back to school is just, I used to hate back to school, the advertisements, because I knew that I was going to be teased and bullied and expected to work exceedingly hard and try to basically, I just couldn't try to perform. I just couldn't perform, folks. I just couldn't perform and be something that my parents wanted me to be a scholastic achiever. That's the problem when you have an undiagnosed disability, folks, is you can't perform well and you get told that it's all your fault. You get blamed for the lack of performance, you get blamed for the lack of of lack of application. How can you apply yourself when you fucking can't even when parts of your brain don't work? I mean, come on. But it was just like that. I just didn't have... I couldn't do it, folks. I tried to weather it. I tried to live with this shit for school, but I just couldn't do it, folks. I just couldn't perform to my parents' expectations, however much. I didn't mean to make trouble. I didn't mean to be a troublemaker. I wasn't interested in making trouble, but trouble followed me because I just couldn't perform at the level that I was expected to. And I hated the school reports. The worst thing that could have happened was my parents going to a parent-teacher night. But teachers would have told them what went on in the school that I was ashamed of, and they would have really ripped in, and my parents would have torn me to pieces. My mum has since mellowed, and she loves me as I am. She doesn't have those expectations anymore. But my father is still a dickhead. He's a fuckstick. And it was really difficult being the most unpopular kid in the school. I'm sure I was the most unpopular kid. I had nothing to wager with, you know. I just couldn't compete in the school. School sucked. It was a horrible place, and I never want to go back there ever again. I never want to go through what I went through, and it's not something you'd wish on your worst enemy. Unless, of course, you want to teach them a lesson, like my father and my brother, who were bullies. They didn't like me, and they treated me like shit. So now I'm basically trying to get my stuff on television to show my brother and my father that I'm not the product, that I'm not the end product of scholastic achievement or failure, that I can just be myself. I don't need these bitches I don't need to seek their approval anymore, but I do want them to apologise. Because like the kids at school, they wouldn't accept me as I was, and they can go fuck themselves. The upshot was the bullies at school didn't focus on teasing me about the photocopier, right? That's the funny thing. But my dad and my brother hate what I do, and they put me down. So I'm not fucking letting them get any fucking glory for it. So they're going to fucking apologise, or I'll disown them. I'll disown the bitches. I've already disowned them, folks. They won't get back into my good books until they see me on television and fucking apologise. Otherwise they will, and they'll take it to the grave. I don't care. I don't hold them as valuable, my dad and my brother. I don't see them as, at the moment, I just don't have any liking for them. Now this looks shit house, folks. So yeah, I just have to just be myself and do what I do and forget what they are doing. At least kids at school who bullied me never took it on themselves to do it to my artwork. I think they didn't have any. Now I'm wondering what colour I'm going to use. But yeah, I'm just really over these bitches. I just don't like the way they disrespect me, and, you know, they've always had the power over me. They don't anymore. I'm just teaching them a lesson. I'm turning the tables on them. And I will turn the tables as long as I have to. And if Dad dies, I don't care. He can go fuck himself. He can take it to his fucking grave. Now that looks interesting. Still looks a bit, I don't know, I like it in some ways, that shape. I wonder if we can do another one. But basically, yeah, I just haven't got any time for these bitches to deal with them. I just have to fucking do my shit, and then when I go on television, I'm hoping they'll respect me. They'll see that what I'm doing is not rubbish, and they'll fucking apologise. The only way I have power over those bitches is through silence and distance. That's the only thing I have on those sluts, is silence and distance. Otherwise, they can hurt me as much as they can, as much as they will, and basically I can't have them doing that to me anymore. Wondering where the centre of this job is going to be. But basically, yeah, I have to fucking show them and stand up, not stand up to them face to face. Face to face, they've got the power. Away from, but when I go away from them and don't reply to their phone, my brother doesn't try to keep in touch, but my dad does, especially around Christmas time. So I have to fucking ignore them, both of them. But my brother doesn't seem to have the same desire to contact me as my dad does. But my dad's got to learn. He's got to fucking apologise. I've got to know that he's going to apologise, because, you know, they're like school bullies, and I don't like them, folks. I fucking have to live with this shit every day at school, every fucking day. I just couldn't get away from it. I just couldn't get away from it. I just had to fucking accept it. What else could I do? The bitches had power. They had fucking, there were numbers. There was huge numbers of them. There were legions of them, folks. It wasn't just the occasional person here and there. It was all the time. It was constant, and I just couldn't get away from it, folks. So I've got no respect for my dad and my brother, who also treat me like shit. They may not treat me in this quite the same way as they did, but they still treat me like shit. Now I've got to enlarge this. I think this is the top, but the colours look brilliant. Look at that, looks brilliant colour-wise. But basically, yeah, I just haven't got the desire to expose myself to my dad and my brother and their fucking bullshit. I'm not going to make myself a fucking victim. I'm not going to be victimised. I'm going to show my fucking strength. And distance and silence are my weapons. They're sort of like passive weapons, but they're the most efficient when you're dealing with characters like these. They're the fucking best kind of weapon. You can't face them and fight them, because they fight really badly. They fight viciously. But what I can do is just throttle them. It's a bit like stopping a fire before it even starts. You're giving it no fuel. I'm not giving them any fuel to burn, so they're not going to fucking get to me. The only thing they get to me is they fucking piss me off from the past, and I'm going to fucking show them. And they're going to apologise. I want them to. And if they don't, tough, they're never going to talk to me. I'm never going to talk to them again. That's how I see it. I'm sure that things will work out in the end. But currently, it's their fucking problem. The ball is in their court. If they can fucking prove to me that they're not assholes anymore. And there was one last thing I haven't mentioned, is I have to forgive, folks. Forgiveness is important. It's almost as important as them apologising. Could be equal. You need both sides to cooperate. So there's going to have to be, off my side, forgiveness, folks. Forgiveness. So I mean it. I've got to forgive them, folks. It's not just about them apologising me and then I can stomp all over them. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to behave like they did to me. I'm not going to copy their fucking bullshit. But basically, I'm going to forgive them, folks. It's what I have committed myself to do, is forgive. Okay, now let's see if this looks any good. Colours look brilliant. Anyway, yeah, that's come up looking a treat. I think now we can call this demo quits.